In the early hours of June 1, 2025, explosions shattered the silence at Russia's Olenya Air Base, deep in the Murmansk region. This remote base, home to Russia's strategic bombers, was struck not by jets or saboteurs, but by a swarm of small Ukrainian drones that had flown 1,800 kilometers undetected. The attack stunned the Kremlin, shattering the illusion that Russia's northern airfields were untouchable. For years, Moscow launched missile strikes on Ukraine from these distant bases, believing them safe from retaliation. The Olenya strike upended that belief, sending a clear message: nowhere in Russia is beyond Ukraine's reach. It was a psychological blow, exposing vulnerabilities in Russia's homeland security, and showing that even its most prized military assets are now at risk. Ukraine's use of low-cost, long-range drones demonstrated a leap in capability and a shift in the war's dynamics. The attack was part of Operation Spiderweb, a coordinated assault on multiple Russian air bases, but Olenya was the boldest target yet. As smoke cleared over the Arctic tundra, it was clear the rules of engagement had changed, and distance was no longer a shield. The Kremlin now faced a new, uncomfortable reality. Ukraine could strike deep into Russian territory.
Olenya Air Base is a linchpin in Russia's nuclear and conventional strike capability, housing two 95 and two 160 bombers. These bombers have launched countless cruise missiles at Ukrainian cities, operating from what was once considered a safe haven. By targeting Olenya, Ukraine aimed to disrupt the logistics of Russia's air campaign and damage high-value bombers on the ground. Each destroyed aircraft is a major loss for Russia, expensive, hard to replace, and vital to its war effort. The attack was asymmetric warfare at its finest, cheap drones neutralizing multi-million-dollar threats. Ukraine's strike was a calculated move to degrade Russia's strike assets in the most cost-effective way. Hitting Olenya also showcased Ukraine's intelligence and operational sophistication, identifying and reaching a distant, well-defended target. The message was unmistakable. Russia's strategic depth is no longer a guarantee of safety. The architects of missile attacks on Ukraine now have to look over their shoulders, even in their most remote sanctuaries. The war's front line had shifted, right into the heart of Russia's military infrastructure.
Ukraine's drone revolution was born of necessity, as engineers developed long-range UAVs using domestic and commercial parts. These drones, like the UT, are designed for efficiency and precision, costing a fraction of a cruise missile. Composite airframes and small engines make them hard to detect and capable of flying vast distances. Advanced navigation systems, blending inertial guidance and terrain matching, let them evade Russian jamming and radar. This blend of simple hardware and smart software is Ukraine's answer to Russia's technological edge. Unlike Russia's terror drones, Ukraine's UAVs target military and industrial assets, holding the aggressor accountable. This homegrown capability gives Kyiv strategic reach without relying on Western-supplied weapons. It's a powerful example of innovation under pressure, turning necessity into a game-changing advantage.
The Olenya explosions sent a psychological shockwave across Russia, shattering the illusion that the war was distant and contained. For years, Russians believed the conflict wouldn't touch their homeland. Now, even the Arctic felt vulnerable. The idea that Ukrainian drones could strike deep inside Russia unsettled both the public and the military elite. No region feels safe. If Olenya can be hit, so can bases near Moscow or the Urals. The military's sense of sanctuary is gone, replaced by constant anxiety and operational stress. Protecting rear bases now diverts air defenses from the front, straining resources and morale. The strike was a strategic message. Russia's depth is an illusion, and its actions have consequences. Ukraine has shifted from defense to imposing direct costs on the aggressor. The psychological playing field is now leveled. Russians must share the fear Ukrainians have endured. This shift is a crucial victory for Ukraine, beyond the physical damage inflicted.
The Olenya strike marked a turning point, pushing Ukraine's reach to 1,800 kilometers, far beyond previous attacks near the border. This leap in range and sophistication transformed Ukraine's drones from tactical tools into strategic weapons. Now, even Russia's most prized military-industrial sites are within reach, fundamentally altering the Kremlin's calculus. Striking a strategic bomber base is a direct challenge to Russia's power projection and nuclear deterrent. The coordinated Operation Spiderweb assault showed Ukraine can launch complex, multi-target operations deep inside Russia. Overwhelming Russian air defenses with massed, synchronized drone attacks is a major new capability. The game has shifted from isolated raids to a sustained strategic air campaign. Russia must now defend its entire western territory, not just the front lines. The balance of power in the air war has fundamentally changed.
The Olenya strike exposed Russia's strategic depth as a vulnerability, not a shield. With drones able to reach 1,800 kilometers, vast swathes of Russian territory, air bases, factories, command centers are now at risk. To protect these assets, Russia must redeploy air defenses from the front, weakening its position in Ukraine. There simply aren't enough systems to cover both the front and the homeland. Moving bombers further east creates logistical nightmares and reduces their operational effectiveness. Every airfield and depot in European Russia is now a potential target, creating unease and a defensive mindset. Ukraine has expanded the battlefield without crossing the border. By exploiting Russia's size, Kiev has put the Kremlin in a strategic bind. There are no easy or cost-free solutions for Moscow. The war's geography and its risks have been fundamentally redrawn.
The Olenya strike is just the beginning. Ukraine's drones will only grow more capable and far-reaching. Soon, even the Urals and Siberia could be within range, and targets will expand beyond airfields to factories and logistics hubs. Future attacks may cripple Russia's ability to produce and repair military equipment, inflicting long-term damage. Advanced AI and swarming tactics will make drone strikes harder to defend against and more devastating. Russia will be forced into a defensive crouch, investing billions in air defenses with no guarantee of safety. The psychological pressure on Russia will intensify as the war becomes an ever-present threat at home. The battlefield is now multidimensional. Drones can threaten critical infrastructure from hundreds of kilometers away. The balance of power is shifting, and the stakes are only getting higher.
The Olenya strike is a real-time lesson in how modern warfare is changing. Small, cheap, autonomous drones are replacing expensive, manned platforms as the tools of strategic power. This shift levels the playing field. Nations with limited budgets can now challenge superpowers. Asymmetric warfare lets Ukraine threaten $100 million bombers with $50,000 drones, forcing Russia to spend far more on defense. The rise of drones blurs the line between front and rear, making every part of a nation vulnerable. Militaries worldwide must rethink how to defend against low-cost, long-range threats. The pace of innovation is relentless. Each new drone prompts new countermeasures and tactics. This high-stakes competition is pushing the boundaries of autonomous systems and electronic warfare. The lessons from Ukraine will shape military strategy for decades to come.
The 800-kilometer drone strike on Olenya is more than a military operation. It's a defining moment in modern conflict. Ukraine's homegrown innovation has turned Russia's vastness from a strength into a liability. The Kremlin now faces a dilemma: stretch its defenses thin or leave key assets exposed. The psychological impact is profound. The war is now a direct threat to ordinary Russians. This is a lesson in asymmetric power. Clever, low-cost technology can challenge a much larger adversary. The future belongs to those who innovate and adapt, using networks of smart autonomous systems. Ukraine's fight is redefining the rules of 21st century warfare and proving that resolve and ingenuity can change the course of history.